Determine the real constants a and b, where w is a plus bi, given that w is this. So what we want to do here is realize the denominator. So w is going to be 1 plus I, and then we want the conjugate of this one, so that's root 3 plus I over root 3 minus I, root 3 plus I. So the top's going to give me root 3 plus I root 3 plus I squared, which is going to be minus 1. On the bottom, root 3 times root 3 is 3. Take away I squared, so that will end up being plus 1. So, getting the real parts together, we've got root 3 take away 1, and then we've got I into root 3 plus 1, and that's all over 4. So A is equal to root 3 take away 1 over 4, and B is equal to root 3 plus 1 over 4. Okay, so now we want to write 1 plus I and root 3 minus I, which are the two parts of w, in polar form. So 1 plus I goes like this, 1 and 1. So that would be root 2, just using Pythagoras, and clearly that's pi by 4. So that is going to be root 2 cis pi by 4. Now this one is root 3 take away I, so that goes down that way. So root 3 and 1. So that angle is going to be pi by 6. And root 3 squared is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4, so that's going to be 2. So this is going to be 2 cis negative pi by 6. Think about the quadrant it's in, the fact it went downwards. So w is going to be root 2 cis pi by 4 divided by 2 cis negative pi by 6. So that's going to be root 2 over 2, and here we need to subtract the arguments. So if we do pi by 4, it'll end up being plus pi by 6. So that's 3 pi by 12 and 2 pi by 12. So that is going to be 5 pi by 12. So we're now asked to determine an exact value for cos 5 pi by 12. Well, we know that root 2 over 2 cis 5 pi by 12 means root 2 over 2 cos 5 pi by 12 plus I sine 5 pi by 12. And that means, equating real parts, that root 2 over 2 cos 5 pi by 12, which is the real part here, is going to be equal to the real part up there, which is root 3 minus 1 over 4. Okay, so if we make this into 1 over root 2, that will be slightly easier, so make that 1 over root 2, and then multiply both sides by root 2, we get cos 5 pi by 12 is equal to, if we multiply by root 2 up here, we get root 6, take away root 2 over 4. And finally, we want to put w to the 12 in Cartesian form. So, well, I might once again write it as 1 over root 2 cis 5 pi by 12, and if we raise that to the power 12, I'm going to get 1 over 2 to the power 6. Remember, root 2 is 2 to the half. Put that to the 12. And then we're going to have cis, and 5 pi over 12 times 12 is just 5 pi. Think about where 5 pi is. So that's pi 3 pi, 5 pi, it's over here. So we know that the cis of 5 pi is negative 1, so it's going to be negative 1 over 2 to the 6, or negative 1 over 64.